Welcome you all. This is Jagadeesan, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science Engineering in RMD Engineering College. Today we will learn about the client-side scripting versus server-side scripting. What is client-side scripting? The client-side scripting means that processing takes place on the server computer. It's not the server, it's a user computer. It is alone we are going to process the client side. It required how we are going to access the client side. It required the browser to run the script on the client machine without involving any processing on the server. Not involving the server within client system, we are going to access with the help of browser to the server. The scripts are typically embedded with HTML text. The client-side scripting may be utilized to check the user from the problems before submitting it and change the content based on the user needs. The web needs three components to the function. What is that? Client, server, and database. Then, client-side scripting may significantly reduce the server demand, and it is intended to utilize a scripting language with a web browser as a host program. What is server-side? The server-side scripting programming technique for creating code that may run software on the server side. In other words, server-side scripting is many scripting methods that may operate on the web server. At the server end, the actions such as website customization, dynamic changes in website content, and response creation for the user request, and database access, and many more are carried out. And last point is server-side scripting create a communication channel between the server and client. This is a diagram we have to use to communicate how we are going to connect to the client and server. The client always sending a request to the server. The server sending based on the request, they are going to send the response to the client. The difference between the client-side scripting and server-side scripting, the primary function is the main function. This scripting is manipulate grant access to the database, and client-side is main purpose. The scripting is a request to the output to the end. The users employed at backend, the server code invisible and cancelled the client side. It is utilized the front end that user may view through the browser. Processing is the server interaction. It does not need any server interaction. Security is more secure while working on the web application. The server side, due to the code accessibility offered to the client. Running the execute on the web server is execute on the remote computer system. Then dependability, it does not depend on the client, it's depend on the user browser version. The file access offer complete access to the file that's stored in the web database server. It does not offer any access to the files on the web server. The code allowances is enable backend developer to hide the source code from the user. The user gives the access to the written code after confirming the requirement. Occurrence it only depends after they begin the browsing request. It happens when the browser process all the code and then acts according to the client needs. Effect, they may reduce the server load, it customize the web pages and offer dynamic websites. Language involved the server-side scripting, the programming PHP, Code Fusion, then Python, then ASP.NET, Java, C++, Ruby, and C++. It is programming language HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Thank you.